To whom it may concern, it is my pleasure to recommend Kurt Luchs for employment at your company. I have known Kurt for nearly 6 years, and I can honestly say that I have not known any other Kurt for nearly so long. Kurt was with our firm, Pendleton Tool and Die Company, for 5.5 of those years. His employment with us ended amicably and by mutual agreement between both parties and the United States Seventh Circuit Supreme Court of Appeals. In fact, Kurt was so dedicated that he stopped coming in each morning only when his desk was removed and the locks were changed. Every once in a while, I think I see his face behind a ventilation grill. During his tenure with us, Kurt held a number of positions reflecting his range of talents and responsibilities: administrative assistant, assistant to the administrator, assistant administrator's aide, administering assistant's associate, and filing clerk. While it would be an exaggeration to say that he performed all his duties, it would be entirely fair to say that he performed them all equally well. In fact, there was a consistency and tone to Kurt's performance which I have never seen before in a living employee. Call it an almost supernatural sense of calm. There were times when only a mirror held to Kurt's nostrils would reveal the fiery spirit and pulsing intellect within. I credit Kurt entirely for inspiring the recent overhaul of our Human Resources Department's background checking system. His knack for creative self-expression, by which he transformed a 3-year stretch in a state reformatory into an MBA from Harvard, was a constant source of amusement. While some people can be described as all heart or all head, the best way to describe Kurt is all hands. From a friendly pat on the behind to a friendly pat of button on the chest, he touched his female colleagues in more ways than most of them had ever heard of. He was close to his male co-workers too. In fact, on several occasions, it took a stun gun to pry them apart. There were a few on who had a hard time seeing Kurt's good-natured roughhousing in a proper light, but in my opinion, he never crossed the all-important line between first-degree manslaughter and second-degree murder. I envy the next company that add Kurt to its payroll. Why? Because hiring Kurt is like getting a free law school education. You may think you understand the First Amendment, but I'll bet you had no idea that an employee had the constitutional right to emit sudden piercing shrieks and deafening bursts of profanity near a fellow worker operating an industrial laser. Kurt also displayed an uncommon willingness and ability to follow instructions. Not my instructions, but rather those he received from the voices in his head. Kurt's influence on everyone in our company was so extensive that there are still employees who won't start their cars without checking under the hood first. You ask how and why Kurt left our company. Unfortunately, a court order prevents me from sharing all the details, but I can say in perfect candor that I heartily recommend Kurt as a resourceful and indefatigable addition to some other firm. Any other firm. Sincerely, Thomas R. Pendleton, President, Pendleton Co. and Die Company.